Hi, I'm Jonathan Berlin, and we here at Beach have been getting a lot of questions from the congregation on how to achieve a better prayer life. So we've put together some tips and tricks that we hope will give you the right idea. Here we see someone making their way to the altar to pray. Notice she tucks her elbows in neatly, staying in her space and wrapping up her prayer in a timely fashion as to make room for the next in line. What a great example of perfect prayer etiquette. The 12-stepper is usually a recovering Catholic or someone who is raised Catholic but never quite got the hang of crossing themselves. See how he spends all the extra time on unnecessary flourishes and motions? Not only is God not impressed, but he'll probably tune this guy's prayer right out before he begins. There's been a lot of talk in sermons about going into your prayer closet. And while we do encourage this in your home prayer life, bringing your prayer shawl to worship can be a bit distracting. And some people take it a little too literally. Now, if you're going to be bold and pray in church, there are some things that you need to be aware of. The creeper. It's important to remember that just because somebody is at the altar praying publicly does not make the altar a good place to be social. That in mind, ladies, beware of the creeper. When a salvation invitation is given, beware of the periscope. This guy closes his eyes at first, but can't help himself. He has to know who, in fact, is giving their life to the Lord. If you insist on praying at your seat, keep an eye out during the response song for the worship willow. This person shuts their eyes tightly and gets so into the worship song that they not only begin to sway, but they swing their arms uncontrollably as they worship. If you find yourself seated near this, just give them room. There is nothing that you can do. Now, if you're in a small group, chances are you pray in a circle holding hands. If this is a regular part of your week, here are some things to consider. When holding hands with someone, make sure that your grip isn't too tight, while at the same time, don't make them do all the work. Find a happy medium. Just because you're praying hard doesn't mean you have to grip hard. The way you hold hands matters also. Some girls' groups are fine with interlocking fingers. Men, however, should traditionally avoid this. Hygiene is an important thing to consider when praying in groups. It's important to carry a bottle of Purell in your pocket at all times, especially if you find yourself stuck next to the faucet. This person cries hard and doesn't care who knows it. So overcome with emotion, you just never know where their tears and snot are going to land. At a church like ours, many people prefer for someone to pray over them. If someone asks you to do so, here are some things to remember. When you lay hands on somebody, placement is key. If you're not sure about particular locations, just don't touch them anywhere you wouldn't touch your grandfather. Again, grip is important. You can pray passionately, but don't get carried away squeezing too hard or shaking a person. They may have had a big breakfast. Finally, we want you to pray in whatever way you feel led. But there are a few methods that we have deemed unsafe and unacceptable. Laying prostrate is a great way to show humility. However, you can see it's wildly unsafe for those around you. While sometimes mistaken for prayer is actually just a YouTube sensation from about a year ago. If you catch somebody planking in church, don't bother being respectful. After all, they're not praying. They're just way late on their YouTube trends. And speaking of trends, it wouldn't be a prayer etiquette video if at least we didn't touch on T-bowing. While it may seem like a cool way to pray, as well as show your support for a heck of an athlete, all you're really saying is, hey, look at me. I'm not creative and I'm an idiot. Well, thanks for tuning in. We hope that it's been enlightening for all of you. But just remember, if you aren't getting the answers that you want from God, you probably aren't praying right.